Farming changes quite a bit in the 21st century in three main ways. Let's basket through them. One is modification. You're going to change the genes of the plants you plan to eat. That has three major effects. One, it makes it easier to fight pests without using poison, which makes the plants healthier because you're not ingesting pesticides. Two, it makes the plants bigger, which makes it cheaper to feed lots of people. And three, it makes the plants better warriors in the fight against the climate crisis because it helps them capture more carbon in bigger root systems they can store underground. It also, while it's doing this, can help fix the soil by pulling more nitrogen and out of the air and putting it in the dirt. Some plants are quite good at this, like borage is a beautiful little purple flower, pulls nitrogen very well out of the air. Clover is another one. So if you've got depleted soil in your home, you could plant plants like those and pull more nitrogen from the atmosphere into the soil, which will be good for your next round of crops. So modification is very healthy and very positive for the development of farming over the next 100 years. If a company that you like has non-GMO label, please call them and tell them to knock it the hell off. That's really dumb. It's like not helping. It's making food more expensive and it's harder to fight the environmental crisis this way. Non-GMO labels are stupid and they should go away. Okay, basket number 2. Internalization. You probably heard the buzzword vertical farming, man. Yeah, a lot of farms will go inside and that'll have some major benefits, like, again, fighting pests is easier when you've got a box instead of just like the wilderness for the beetles to come in and eat all your stuff because they like eating plants as well. Then it's going to encourage localization, moving plant production to where people need to eat those plants, like you've probably heard of food deserts in cities. That's a big problem that industrial farming can solve, internalized vertical farming can solve, and then miniaturization, which at the long tail can get into homes. You probably already have devices like that in your time, but they're not as good as they eventually will be, like a refrigerator style device that you can just open and or shuffle through your local farm for you. But in the intermediary step, lots of supermarkets and other points of sale operations like restaurants will have some vertical farming components. So they will have like a layer on top of the supermarket that is farming upstairs, and then that stuff will come downstairs to be fresh produce and it'll be made on site, grown on site. But made actually gets us to basket number 3, which is synthesization. This is kind of the most future-y one because cultivated meat is already rolling off the shelves a little bit in the mid-2020s. But cultivated broccoli hasn't yet, and yet it could. There's no real reason why you couldn't 3D print broccoli and carrots and spinach and all that good stuff. And you could also synthesize the nutrients that you'd like in totally new ways with different creative form factors. So that's going to be sort of a slow walk, but over the long haul of the 100 years into the early 2120s, you're going to be getting more synthesized food that is quite healthy as opposed to, say, synthesized Wonder Bread in the 1900s, which was more of a response to poverty and hunger coming out of the Great Depression. Let's just get calories in these people for gosh sake, and moving into more of a nutrition mindset, which is where you are as most of the developed world gets healthier in the early 21st century, and then that will expand to most of the world proper throughout the 21st century and into the 22nd. So internalization, synthesization, and gene editing. Modification, internalization, synthesization, if you want a whole bunch of Asians together. This is our 100th show. I'm really proud of that, and it feels weird to be talking to a void, because I don't know for sure that you're there, but I guess you might be. And if you heard this, like the proverbial tree in the forest, then it did in fact make a sound. I would love to hear from you. Just really anything at all. I hate you dumb face would be a fine thing for you to comment. I'd prefer that you said something nice, but just like any sound at all would really be great. And if you're feeling super generous and like into this, you could donate to our Substack, subscribe to our Substack, which is essentially a donation, and you get little backlog of all of our articles, episodes with links to the stuff we've talked about. Hope you have something healthy for breakfast, because you can start your new day right now. Future up. Bye.